Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 825. Cheers. Happy Monday. Welcome back to the work week. Short week for me. Flight tomorrow afternoon. Spring training 2023. Stoked. I did my pre-trip errands yesterday with a trip to Walmart, which made an observation that I'm going to dive into today. Got my little mini bottles, my travel size deodorant, toothpaste. What else did I get? Toothpaste, deodorant, body wash. You never know. You can never trust. I am staying at a Marriott property, which typically they have a decent body wash. There's nothing worse than the random hotel with the bar of soap. Ugh, freaking bar of soap. So I did that yesterday. What else did I do yesterday? Yesterday was Sunday. I shipped. Oh, I did a lot of shipping in the morning. Afternoon was reserved for. I finished my spring training card prep for autographs. Got my baseballs put together. Charged up my iPad. Now today that my iPad's charged up, I need to download some Netflix movies or shows so I can watch those on the flight. So I finished up. I ended up bringing. I was going to bring. I showed you the books that I make with the photo corners. Fortunately, my photo corners were delivered yesterday, so I was able to finish putting cards in my books for autographs. The plan was to take like one full book, and I'm bringing more cards than I anticipated. So I had to make a second book. I put together some kids packs. I'm meeting a group of people from Club 400. A few are bringing their kids. So we have a group chat going, and one of them mentioned like, hey, make sure your kid brings some cards to get autographed. And I'm like, light bulb. People ask me like, what do you do with 1 million Cubs cards? I'm not there yet. What are you going to do? And I've had people, a couple Cubs like super collectors. They're not like hoarding 88 Donruss like I am, but they have needs. And I probably have duplicates, and I don't need duplicates. I just need to get to 1 million cards to reach my goal. And then let's do some trading. I'll trade some Cubs cards. So I thought, well, hey, this is a good, I'll dump off a couple hundred Cubs cards. It'll make my number decrease by a little bit, but it's for the kids. For the kids. So I put together like 10 or 12 packs, and there's like 25 in their current Cubs. And I made sure each player represented is in there. So the kids are getting some Seiya Suzuki rookie cards, because I only had a couple of 2023 Topps Suzuki. So most of them are rookie cards. Nico Horner, Ian Happ. The only thing I don't have is like Cody Bellinger, Dansby Swanson, Trey Mancini, because those guys don't have Cubs cards yet. And I don't have them sorted. So it's like I might have had 3 Dansby Swansons, 4 Cody Bellingers, and it's like, let's just keep it to the Cubs cards I have. And that should make them happy. So taking some Cubs card kid packs to spring training. What's going on in the chat? Ed is here. What's happening? Ed, David, good morning. Thank you very much. Todd, what's happening? Sal Dougie in the house. Terry, good morning. Hall of Fame card collector, what's happening? Jeremy is here. I set up at a card show Saturday, says Hall of Fame card collector. How did it go? I'm curious. I love hearing stories of first-time dealers at card shows. I want to know. I would like you to share, if you can, in the chat, what your anticipation was going in, and how you performed. Did it go as expected? Were you underwhelmed? Were you overwhelmed? To this day, when I set up as a dealer, I typically set the bar too high. And I know going in every show, it's like you always think you're going to sell everything and you end up selling nothing. That's kind of how it goes. I've had a couple, the two Rockford shows this year. I've been blown away. Janesville, I was highly disappointed in the sales. Now, Janesville, Janesville, here's the thing. You can't just say, what makes a good show from a dealer standpoint. And John Keating and Danny Black did a great conversation a couple weeks ago on Hobby Think Tank, which is on the Bench Clear Media channel. And Danny said, well, for me, it's to make money. Like, that's why I'm there. And that's, to put it simply, yes, but no, that's not always the case. Some of my best shows where I make the most money, I make the least money at the actual show, but I'm able to make some purchases that 10x my money down the road. Sometimes it's quick, for this example, Janesville, just last Sunday, I've probably already made a profit from the cards that I've only scratched the surface. Now I've put most of the $10 cards, the $5 to $10 cards up. The rest are going to be, $2, $3, maybe some $5 here and there for the most part. And I think I've exceeded. I think I'm already in the green as far as what I've turned around. So at the end of the day, it's going to be a phenomenal show money wise. Just not, it's going to take a little elbow grease to get that money in. So I'm curious your thoughts on how it went from the other side of the table. Herman in the house. What's up, Herman? Great idea on the packs for kids. Thank you. Brian Dean, what's happening? Cooter in the house. Good morning, Sofa Kingdom. By the way, today's title is inspired by Cooter Lev. Thank you, Cooter. Sofa King. So it's hard to say. Sofa Kingdom random thoughts. Dean and Andrew in the house. What's happening, guys? Victor is here. Good morning. Just finished watching yesterday's episodes. Hate ads. Have fun in Arizona. Thank you, Victor. I apologize for the advertisements. There was something I was going to piggyback on. Card shows. Speaking of card shows, my buddy Rich, who's a photographer, he takes a lot of pictures. He's sold some photos to Topps. Couple Christian Hernandez cards, Jordan Wicks. He also recently sold Matt Mervis and one other player I can't remember that should be in a release this year. So Rich sent me a message yesterday, and he's like, "Hey, there's a card show in Chandler next Saturday," and I'm like, "Saturday? There's not a home game." And Saturday on my itinerary. Now, I'm not a planner. I like to wing it. I like to fly by the seat of my pants. That's just how I roll. I hate planning. So my rough draft, my high school English teacher, the late Grove Killalay, Mr. Killalay, awesome teacher. We lost him far too soon. In his English class, and this might be like common, but I had never heard it before, and I don't know if I've heard it since. And I've had some English teacher friends in the years since I was in high school. When I explained this, they're like, "I've never heard that before, but it's genius." So when we wrote papers, you have the rough draft, but he would have us turn in a rough draft, but he called it a dog draft. So we turned in the dog draft, which was basically like an outline of your rough draft. And he called it the dog draft because it was the rough draft. Ha ha. Grove Killalay. Great teacher. So my rough draft, my dog itinerary, my rough itinerary, my dog itinerary, had Saturday circled as kind of a wild card, go with the flow, maybe a card shop day, maybe make it a baseball card day. So then my buddy Crawley, you may know him. If you're a Cubs fan, you might know him. You probably know him. Crawley's Cubs Kingdom. Crawley sent me a message yesterday, and he's like, "Yo," because he's part of Club 400 trip that will be. It's not really a trip. We just kind of all planned it the same dates to be down there. And we do our different things. We hang out a lot, but we also do our different things. Anyway, Crawley sends me a message. He's like, hey, do you want to get a group together to go to the Cubs-Dodgers game? He's like, I've never been to the Dodger field down there. I'd like to go. Cubs are on, obviously on the road at the Dodger Stadium. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And he's like, we can hit up the backfields in the morning, and then it's a 2:00 game, and then we can head over from the backfields. I'm like, yeah, that's perfect. Because I don't miss a day at Sloan, whether it's on the backfields or the backfields and the big league game. But typically the backfields, they're done by like noon, and then it's like, now what? Like, yeah, that's perfect. Well, about a half an hour later, my buddy Rich sends me a message, and he goes, hey, there's a card show next Saturday in Chandler. You want to hit it up? Hell yeah. Sorry, Crawley, I'm not going to the Cubs. I'm going to 4 games already. I'm going to the 4 home games that will be played while I'm out there. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday are the home games for the Cubs at Sloan Park. So Saturday and Monday are my like 2 wild card days. Now Saturday is card show day. So I'm like, he's like, Ethan Roberts, Cubs pitcher. Ethan's always looking for card shows. He goes, since he's rehabbing, he typically doesn't travel with the team. So I'm like, oh, I'll reach out to him. So I'm like, Ethan, there's a card show in Chandler next Saturday. Do you want to go with Rich and I? And he's like, hell yeah, absolutely. Now plans could change. He is a Major League Baseball player, and he could have obligations that come up between now and then that he's required to not be able to attend the card show. But he's in. So I messaged Crawley, and I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, there's a card show. I can't do the Cubs-Dodgers game. So nothing was planned. We didn't buy tickets or anything. So and it was ironic, the timing, how this all went down, because Crawley messages me, and then like 20 minutes later, Rich messages me. And then 2 minutes later, I message Crawley, I'm going to the card show. I don't really care to go see other stadiums. Here's a rabbit hole. I'm not somebody that, and I get it's cool to like see all the stadiums. And when I do go to another stadium, it's like, oh, I'm glad I went. But it's not something that I'm like planning. I've only been to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I've only been to 6 Major League Baseball stadiums. There's one outlier. There's Wrigley Field, of course, Miller Park, Comiskey, which I don't even know what it's called anymore. It wasn't even Comiskey when I went. I think it was like the first or second year of the Cell when I went. I've only been there once, to the south side. Let's see. St. Louis Busch Stadium, which I went to Busch 2. PNC Park, Pittsburgh, not for a game. I did a stadium tour. They were out of town, so we did a stadium tour. My wife's family is from Pittsburgh. And then Oakland. That's the outlier. My buddy got married. His wedding was on like a cliff on the ocean in Carmel. And so I made a little, I called it the mancation. And I was flying solo. So I hit up Oakland. I had like second row seats behind home plate. It was amazing. The stadium sucks in Oakland. But I had good seats. I saw Oakland and the Twinkies. I saw the Twins and A's. San Francisco, I would have went to a Giants game, but I would have much rather went to a Giants game. But the Giants were out of town when I was out there. So let's go into the chat real quick. Hall of Fame card collector. He says, I thought it went better than I thought in terms of buying inventory, but selling, I don't really sell much of my dollar cards, and I traded some big cards. Okay. It was also super exhausting. It can be, especially, for your first time, it can be like standing around. Like, I think that's the most exhausting part, is just the standing around, the being, immobile, essentially. I mean, I guess you could do that, like do a little dance behind your table, but yeah. So that's good. And that's when people ask, like, where do you get your inventory? It's like 99% of my inventory comes from card shows, like other dealers. because I love bulk and most people hate bulk. Now, I say that I'm trying to get rid of bulk. I hate bulk right now. My wife's talking write it down. Write this down. My wife's like talking me out of like getting rid of, because I'm like stressed out about this move. Well, I'm not as stressed out about the move. I'm stressed out about selling this house and showing it and not having this. And it's actually not, I'm not even worried about this room. I'm worried about that freaking closet. That's what I'm worried about. And like boxes that I have just sitting, the shelf full of boxes in my freaking bathroom, because I can't have that when we show the house. So that's what it's like, I need to get rid of this crap. So I think that's what I'm most stressed out about. But I am trying to get rid of my bulk. I was supposed to have another truckload to the last guy that bought it. He couldn't make it work. We were supposed to do the deal on Friday. He couldn't make it work and was busy all weekend. And then obviously I'm going to be gone for a week. So we'll make that transaction after I get back from spring training. Let's see. Kyle's in the house. What's up, Kyle? Brian Wolf is here. Matty Ice, what's happening? Cooter says Bo hates planning. Now there's I know. Is that shocking? No, not at all. Hall of Fame card collector says I also had some Jackson Holiday refractors and no one touched them, but people bought all of my Ellie De La Cruz. Excellent. So I just sold 5 more of my first Bowman Jackson Holidays. I've sold them all. Like minimum is $4. Remember, I paid 17 cents and I bought 30 of them. I think I'm down to, I think I only have 7 left. I think I've sold 23 of the Jackson Holidays at $4 a piece. Now this is just gross. We're not taking into account fees and shipping. So say I sold 23 at $4 each, because some did sell for $5. $92. Not bad. I paid $5 for them. Not bad. Not a bad return. Let's see. And there were some Ellie De La Cruz in the bulk that I had. I think I had 2 sapphires. Those sold for $8 and $10. A refractor sold for, I think, 3 or 4. And these are non-firsts. These are just like second Bowmans of Ellie De La Cruz. TD Sports Cards, what's happening? Good morning. Paige and Dee Bean calling me a dirty double booker. It was not as dirty though, since it was such a quick turnaround. Andrew, that's why I don't like planning. What if something better comes along? What if? I don't want to make plans for this. I don't want to make plans it's Monday. I don't want to that's 5 days away, 6 days away. I don't want to make plans. What if something better comes along? Like a card show. I'm getting enough baseball. Let's see. TD Sports Cards. Good morning to you. Johnny Boy Cards in the house. Herman is here. He says, I've been to 3 and they were all in Atlanta. Let's see. Hot as balls where I am, says John. Bad hair day ahead. Where are you? It's like cold everywhere. My mom and my cousin, they're still out in Oregon. I think they fly back the day I fly out. And it was snowing on the beach. Now, I know Oregon is like not a warm weather locale, but still, snow on the beach sounds weird. It doesn't sound as good as the other S on the beach, that's for sure. But Arizona's chilly. It's chilly. Actually, it might be. Actually, right now in Arizona, it might be cold. Because remember, if it's under 70, it's cold in my book. It's 35 here. It's 47 in Mesa. That's effing cold. That's effing cold. All right. 72 is the high today. By the time I get out there, we're tracking for a little warmer. My first full day in Mesa will be Wednesday, 75. That's better than 35. 75 on Thursday, 78 on Friday, 80 on Saturday, 81 on Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday will be nice and 84, but I'll be on a flight back to frickin' Wisconsin, so it'll be cold. Hot as balls where John's at. Herman says, don't get out much. Cooter says, don't you need to have hair for it to be bad, John? But good morning, Red Light 34. What's happening? Your buddy Dom, what is up? Good morning to you. Red loves bulk. Flawed thinker. I know it's fiscally irresponsible, but I got into a break over the weekend for $300 and ended up pulling a $3,000 card raw and 6K PSA 10. I don't recommend breaks unless you can afford it. That's awesome. But yeah, be careful. They can suck you in like my one of my buddies texted me on Saturday and he's like, "Hey, there's a poker tournament at like the Holiday Inn." And I'm like, "What? What?" We've never even talked about like poker or really gambling. I'm like, I only gamble on baseball cards. Like, I have no interest in a poker tournament. I don't want to I don't even want to play poker in my own house on the couch. I don't want to play poker. So I certainly don't want to leave my house and go to the Holiday Inn and play poker. That is one of the last things on my list. Along with buying Girl Scout cookies, which we're going to get into today. And I have some thoughts. However, I've kind of come off the ledge on my thoughts regarding Girl Scouts. I was very annoyed, I think, with Girl Scout cookie sales yesterday. But I thought about it a little bit. And I think I really need to get out of the house. This spring training trip can't come soon enough. When I'm like psychoanalyzing the sales of Girl Scout cookies, get out of the effing card room, Bo. You need to get out. When you're frickin' analyzing Girl Scout cookie sales, it's time to frickin' drink a beer and watch some baseball. So I have some Girl Scout cookie thoughts, which, by the way, I'm not a Girl Scout cookie fan. They're okay. I have if I didn't buy a box or my wife didn't buy a box this year, wouldn't faze me whatsoever. In fact, I think last year we had Girl Scout because I bought a couple. I think like somebody knocked on the door and I bought some because I'm a sucker. That's why I just ignore it. I don't answer the door because why? I can't say no. If I answer the door and they're selling something, I will buy it. So I just ignore it. I just don't answer the door. I'm like hiding. It's like it's the Jehovah Witnesses. Like, did they see me? Did they see me? So, I bought last year. I bought some Girl Scout cookies, and I bought like 2 boxes of Thin Mints. I bought like 5 boxes. Like, what the hell are we gonna do with 5 boxes of Girl Scout cookies? Most people would eat them. So I bought like the kind I like, and they sat in the pantry forever. My wife's like, "Why did you even buy these?" And I'm like, because I can't say no. And it's like, I didn't want to just buy 5 boxes of Thin Mints. I had to, get a little variety. I think I eventually ate them. I will say the shortbread cookies dipped in pudding is amazing. So I think that's what I ended up doing. Just might as well get all fat and bloated, dipping cookies into pudding. Mark, what's happening? Good morning. AA Cards is here, so I have more thoughts on Girl Scout cookies. Card Hobbyist, what's up? Ed says, John, no more bad hair days for me. John says, my back hair is not cooperating this morning. There's a thought. Put that image in your brain today. John's back hair. Sofa Kingdom random stream. Absolutely. Cooter with the tip. Just name it Sofa Kingdom random thoughts. Christian, good morning. Zach and Porter here. Present and accounted for. Almost got all the couch card holders done this weekend. Awesome. Which, by the way, this is what he's referring to. Check that out. Let's put a freaking card in there. Couch People card holder. By the way, these also fit slabs. I have my I was generously gifted a Javier Baez first Bowman Chrome auto. And I'm like, I wonder if this couch will hold a slab. And it does. So I have my second couch card holder in the rec room, prominently displaying my Javi Baez Bowman Chrome auto. Mark says 8 ballparks he's been to. Shea, Yankee, all 3. The Vet, Camden Yards, Fenway twice, PNC, Turner, and Jacobs. People who love the history of the game have to do Fenway. It's definitely if there's a baseball stadium that's on my, like, of the stadiums, like if I had to rank stadiums that I need to go watch a game, Fenway is number one. PNC is number two. I've been to PNC, but I have not watched a game at PNC. Just did the stadium tour. So PNC, I think Pittsburgh would be number two on my list. I really want to get out to Pittsburgh and what Pittsburgh's a cool city. So I'd like to go for like a weekend for Cubs Pirates. So Fenway would be number one. PNC would be number two. I'm trying to think of what my number three stadium would be that I would want to go watch a game, because Fenway's obviously just being a baseball fan. PNC because they're in the same division as the Cubs, so I could see the Cubs. But also it's really cool. It's more of the like atmosphere. It's right on the river. It's cool. And speaking of that, San Francisco, I'd like to get to a giant. San Francisco is a cool city. So a giant, maybe Giants would be number three. And I don't even know. What's sad is there's so much corporate sponsorship on these damn stadiums. I don't even know. Back in the day, Fenway, Yankee, Tiger Stadium, Shea Stadium, Candlestick Park. Now it's, what the hell? Oh, Chavez Ravine, Dodgers. That's a good one. Yes. Did I have the opportunity? Because when I worked for Allen Lund Company, they're headquartered in Pasadena. The president of the company was a Dodgers minor leaguer. He came up. He was a catcher, and he was blocked by a teammate by the name of Mike Piazza. Hey, if you're going to be blocked at a position, might as well be by a future Hall of Famer, right? But Eddie was a star at Notre Dame, drafted by the Dodgers, which was his hometown team. So they have season tickets. And usually when we go out to, well, I don't work there anymore. When they take employees out, usually, if it's during the baseball season, I think it was postseason, but I don't think they had any home games when we were out there. Can't remember how that worked out. Because we definitely would have hit up a Dodgers playoff game. So that's probably on my short list. I don't know if Chavez Ravine would be in my top three. I think I would pull, and Dodger fans wouldn't like me saying this. I'd probably rather go to a Giants game than a Dodger game. But I would say Dodgers on the short list, but probably outside of my top three. John says a box is one portion. Thin Mints. Randy went to Shipshewana on Saturday. We had 7 inches of snow in 24 hours. Still too many damn people at the show. That's good. That's good that there's too many damn people at the show. We want that. At least I want that. As a promoter and a dealer, I need too many damn people at the show. Although there is a point where too many damn people starts scaring people away, and then that can actually do more harm than good. Ed says, Bo, if you make your way out here, I will get you to Fenway. Absolutely. Andrew says, that reminds me, Bo, I don't think anyone can post emails because wrenches are all gone. What is Red Light's email? Red Light 34. My email is on my YouTube page. I think you can type it in, but you just can't I don't think you can do like the @ sign. You can type in like, so you could do this, for example. There you go. You can do that. You should be able to. I don't see why you couldn't do that. So there you go. You just have to do a little deciphering. Let's see. Brian asks what colors. David says I can vouch for PNC. Second best for me. Camden Yards first. Oh, there you go. Camden Yards. That would make my short list. I'm going to my first game at Dodger Stadium in April. Joe says the Shipshewana show was crazy. That's good. I want to hear continuing craziness at card shows. Craziness for the good, not the bad. Merle, good morning. A few more inches of snow in Minnesota. We got a dusting, enough to piss me off. We got enough snow to piss me off. Actually, I would be more pissed off if I had to go out and shovel. That would piss me off. This just annoyed. I guess the snow we got last night just annoyed me like Girl Scout cookie sales. Just annoying. Doesn't piss me off, just annoyed. Slightly annoyed by it. But then I look out the window and I'm like, ha ha, I'm going to Arizona tomorrow. I'm getting out of this freaking snow hole. All right. Hall of Fame card collector says, is it good to leave the show with less cash than you came in with, but more inventory as a dealer? Sometimes that's the way it goes. That happened to me last Sunday in Janesville, but that inventory is going to turn into more cash, and so it was a good thing. Let's see. And that's sometimes that's how it works. It's how it works sometimes. Let's see. Mike is with us. What's up? Merle says that's a short fuse if a dusting pisses you off. It's March 6th. I'm ready for spring, Merle. March 6th. Bring me some spring. We've got bids already being given out in the NCAA tournament. Ooh, I want to talk about that. Write it down. NCAA. Let's talk about Girl Scout cookies. Speaking of annoying. So I had a couple annoying instances of Girl Scout cookies. So here's my thing, but I've kind of backtracked. So, and we talked about this the other day. It's like they entrap you. Girl Scout cookie entrapment. Because they just hang out at the grocery store, at the Walmarts, and they just hawk the Girl Scout cookies. And then it's like, you feel bad. You feel bad for ignoring them. But if you look them in the eye, then you say no and you feel bad. So it's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. So anyway, I go to Walmart, pick up my little miniature travel stuff. There's the frickin' Girl Scouts outside the damn door, hawking their cookies that I don't want. But fortunately, these were like not very seasoned sellers. The moms, there's like 3 or 4 moms, and they're just chatting away. Da, 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 da. Did you see what Karen did yesterday? Oh my God. So that's the moms. All right. And then the Girl Scouts, 5 or 6 of the Girl Scouts, and they're just like doing their thing. And then all of a sudden, if people start walking by, they're like, Girl Scout cookies! Like not even to anyone in particular. Just there's people within 100 yards. We're going to scream, Girl Scout cookies! Girl Scout cookies! Just screaming it into the air to nobody. This is a terrible sales tactic. You need a sales expert to come in and teach you how to sell. So it was easy for me to easy to ignore that. Just go in. And I'm thinking, what are we teaching these kids? Nothing. Terrible. And then I thought, you know who's to blame? Us. Because it's my generation that's raising these terrible salesmen. And then I thought, well, if we're raising our kids to be terrible salespeople with terrible communication skills, it's our parents. And if our parents, it's their parents, our grandparents. Does every generation bitch about the other generation? I think it's just a generational thing. My generation's going to bitch about the young kids, and then the young kids, when they get to be our age, they're going to bitch about their kids. And it's just because I remember my dad bitching about my generation, and I'm sure my grandpa bitched about my dad's generation when he was getting frickin' perms and wearing puka shell necklaces and light blue leisure suits. Like, really, Dad? You're complaining about my blonde tips? Really? Okay. So our generation's to blame. Our parents are to blame for our misdeeds, and the kids. What does that say if it just keeps getting worse and worse? Oh my God. So, okay, going back. So I'm thinking, we're not teaching these Girl Scouts any like good communication skills or business skills. I also understand they're like 8 years old, so I guess we can give them a little leeway, right? But then I thought, wait. What I learned in business school, you don't have to have the talent. You just have to have the skills to acquire the talent. And what I mean by that is when I went back to school, like Rodney Dangerfield, I was 30 when I went back to finish my degree. And I went to business school. And I'm terrible at graphic design. I'm terrible at video. If you've seen my YouTube videos, you're like, no shit. No shit. And I had to do all that crap in my sales classes, in my graphic design classes. But guess what? By the time you're 30, you acquire friendships with people who are talented in other avenues where you can just make a phone call, like my buddy Jeremy. He is a great audio visual guy. And so we are meeting with Jeremy at the new house today, and he's going to do all of our TV install. Like, okay, you need to do all this and this and this and internet and all that crap. You just have to acquire friends that can handle the stuff that you can't handle. So we did video resumes, which I think, let me see. We did video resumes. Now, this was like 10, 12 years ago. So it's okay. I'm not going to be, but there's a video resume that I did, and it just blew everybody else out of the water. Why? Not because I'm talented at video production, but one of my friends was employed in video and did video for the university. Graphic design, my friend worked in the graphic design department at the university. You're just like, hey, can you do this for me for a 12-pack of beer? That's cheap. That's cheap. That's what the Girl Scouts are doing by sitting outside of Walmart. It's genius, really. Here I am bitching about we're not teaching them anything. No, we are teaching them. We are teaching them how life works, how business works. Why waste an entire day going door to door? Now, I will say it does build, especially communication skills, but that defeats my point. When they can just set up shop for an hour outside of Walmart, and what they can accomplish in 1 hour at Walmart, what's the traffic? 200, 300 people? I don't know. On a Sunday, maybe. It would take them 8 hours to probably only touch half of the people that they can touch in 1 hour at Walmart. It's genius. So maybe all is right, and we are actually teaching something to the kids. Girl Scout cookies. Girl Scout cookies. Let's go into the chat. That was my thought. I was so annoyed yesterday. It's like, God, we're not teaching these kids anything by just having them scream Girl Scout cookies outside of a Walmart. And then it dawned on me, wait, this is like maximum efficiency. This is genius. Okay. Let's see. John wants to know if the couch card holders come with change in the cushions. If dealers only sell at shows, then you eventually have to leave a show with more cash than inventory. Bo sells online more, so inventory gathering is paramount. That is true. That is true. Because basically when I acquire inventory at a show, it's boom, going online. Let's see. Dave, what's up? Dave says, saw where raspberry Girl Scout cookies are going for $154 on eBay. What in the hell? Are they like rare? Is there like a superfractor inside a box? What the hell? Bo needs to move south. I never would have thought 10 years ago. I'm not moving. 2013. Yeah. 10 years ago, I'm like, I'm not moving to Chicago, or I'm not moving to Wisconsin. If I was moving north, it would have been Chicago. That would have been the furthest. I'm going south. And here I am in Wisconsin. But I love it. I love it. Just the weather sucks. The snow blows and the weather sucks most of the time. But when we get 3 months of nice weather, it's beautiful. Max says you've lived your entire life in the Midwest and you're complaining about snow in March. Going to be a long month. I know. We're due for a big March snowstorm, and probably I'm going to get really pissed off in April. That's so people, when I moved from Illinois to Wisconsin, and it's only like 2.5 hours south. I grew up 2.5 hours south of where I'm at now in Madison. So it's people are like, oh, you're in Wisconsin. Oh, and people in Wisconsin are like, oh, it's so cold up here. You're not going to be, it's like, I grew up in Northern Illinois. It's not that different. It's not like I'm moving to the Northwoods. I'm not in frickin' Duluth. I'm not in Iron Mountain, Michigan. I'm in southern, south central Wisconsin. The weather's not that different. The difference, though, there is a big difference, which is probably what I'm annoyed by most. By this time where I grew up, it was starting to like get spring-like. Let's just see. Although now whenever I point this out, I look at the forecast and it's like, oh no, the weather's the exact same here as it is where I grew up. So let's see what old Anawan. So the next few days, upper 30s. Oh, it's going to be, so next Saturday, it's going to be in the low 30s. Oh, see, that's crazy. So the NCAA tournament's going to be going on and it's going to be 35 effing degrees as a high. That is not going to be the case where I grew up in Anawan. Let's see. Is it Anawan? So it's going to be 60 degrees in Anawan today. That's the difference between just 2.5 hours, although it's going to be in the low 40s next week. So that's not much of a difference, but there seems to be like a 10 to 15 degree difference in like March, where spring comes early by a few weeks. What I learned the first couple of years I was here, where I grew up, it would be like the first 70 degree day and people are out drinking beer, playing bags, and it's like 50 in Madison. There's like a 20 degree difference at times. That's the biggest difference I've noticed. And the humidity. There's like no humidity here. I love heat and humidity. And there's no humidity here. We get like 3 days of like, oh my God, it's hot and I sweat as soon as I open the door. 3 days. In Illinois, frick, it's half the summer, all summer long. And I love it. I love the humidity. And I know I'm crazy for saying that. Let's see. Card hobbyist, he may begin to miss the snow. I would miss the corn. I would miss the cornfields. 608 says he lives 20 minutes down the road. You got nothing? We got just this nasty wintry mix. We didn't get enough to like shovel, but it covered the roofs. Roofs? Is it roofs or roofs? The roofs. I like roofs better. It covered all the roofs of the houses. It covered just a dusting of the sidewalk. The grass is snowy. Let's see. Bo, make sure you negotiate when dealing with Girl Scouts. Follow the golden rules of bartering. 608 says, sold my biggest card to date over the weekend. My Julio Rodriguez auto. Congrats. That's a nice one. Max says, you have become the old man yelling at the sky meme. I have. I'll admit it. The Girl Scouts and their selling tactics shouldn't bother you nearly much as it is. I know. That's why I'm spending too much time in the basement looking at baseball cards and bitching about Girl Scout cookies. You're exactly right. I cannot disagree. Let's see. Mike says, or move north. I'm in Ottawa, Canada. Shoveled my driveway yesterday in my t-shirt. What? Red lights in his crane, so I will have to go back later and read the screen later. You bet. Cooter says, what separates a good versus great dealer is their ability to acquire inventory. There it is. That's it's all in the purchases. So I would argue that buying cards at a show is more important than selling cards if you have a store or sell online. Definitely. And there are times when that's not, if I have a ton of inventory, I'm not looking to buy and I'm looking to maximize my sales. But if a deal presents itself, I was in a buying mode last weekend. I was in a buying mode, and I think I was more in a buying mode on Sunday for inventory because I bought so much collection on Saturday, Cubs stuff on Saturday. It's like, okay, I didn't buy much stuff to flip. It's not gonna pay for what I bought in Cubs, so now it's time to buy more to sell more. Mark says selling is 90% personality. I would agree with that. Let's see. Where are we at? Paul Heath is in the house. What's up, Paul? Hall of Fame card collector says, I have autism, so it's a little hard to interact with people or know what to say, but I think I did pretty good according to my mom. Very nice. There you go. And I think the more reps you put in, I think the more comfortable, that first time is always the first time is always the toughest, but once you break through that barrier, it should get easier. Max says 200 to 300 people in an hour. You're in the Madison area. I would assume 1,000 per hour is light. I think no at Walmart. No, I bet 200 to 300 people. And this is the big Walmart in Monona. I would say 200 to 300 people. Maybe 300 to 400 people on a Sunday afternoon. Certainly not anywhere close to 1,000. Let's see. Brian says, kind of like knowing someone that knows some things about photography that can go down a rabbit hole. There you go. Let's see. Mark says, my daughter had pigtails and batted her eyelashes. She made tons of loot. Kevin, what's happening? Good morning from North Carolina, North Cackalack. Born and raised up. Who is Petey Pablo? I've got a simple question for you that I know you've gone over before. Are you putting your $1.50 cards in top loaders when you use PWE? Sometimes, but typically I use card saver ones. Now I've had very, very, very few issues with, damages or rigidness on PWEs. It does happen, especially when you do volume. The more you send out, the more potential issues could occur. But I found that using card savers tends to decrease those chances a little bit. Now, that's not saying that it's problem-free, but for the most part, it is. So I prefer card savers, but every once in a while, I'll use top loaders. But yes, I'm always using penny sleeve and either a card saver or a top loader, and then wrapping it, tri-folding copy paper into a standard white number 10 envelope. Flying Illini, what's happening? I swear every time I drive through Duluth, it's overcast or raining. Card Hobbyist also says card savers. Merle says card savers. There you go. Let's see. Max says, at least you call it bags and not cornhole. Yes, I hate it when people call it cornhole. Cornhole? That sounds dumb. It's bags, people. It's bags. I add a couple other cards, maybe some other cardboard. I would be very careful adding any type of protection because that's going to add to the rigidness. So in fact, I think in the video that I have on my YouTube channel, I think I was using cardboard at that time. I no longer use any cardboard protection because that's going to more and more likely flag to the post office, and they're going to say it's not machinable, and then they're going to upcharge you. So I would not, I would discourage using cardboard. If you want to throw like a card behind it and in front of it in a card saver, that'll work. But I would not add any additional cardboard. Let's see. And I've talked about this before, adding the cardboard is actually, how do I want to say this? So adding the cardboard is basically defeating the purpose of using the PWE because, and especially the card saver, because you're using the card saver to reduce the rigidness of your envelope so it doesn't get upcharged through the USPS. By adding a piece of cardboard, you're just adding to the rigidness. And so that's why do not use cardboard. Herman says, we had 2 beautiful spring-like days this weekend. Got a ton of stuff done outside. I'll take heat and humidity every day over winter and cold. Hell yes. Zach says, Bo, we have humidity here. You just need to go outside. There you go. I'm spending too much time in the basement. Let's see. Yesterday we talked about the Dallas Mavericks. We got on this weird rabbit hole of Dallas Mavericks. So I got to thinking last night, what a lowly list of Dallas Mavericks all-time greatest players. And I'm thinking, is there another NBA team that could be as bad as the Mavericks in terms of their top 20, top 25 all-time greatest players? And one team came to mind. And most non-sports fans don't even know this team exists because they're overshadowed by another team in their city, the Lakers in Los Angeles. It was a clue I think the Clippers was a clue in Jeopardy. And my wife so proudly, it was like, the tip was like, this team in Los Angeles. And she's like, oh, that's the Lakers. And she was so proud. And I had that, like, I was so happy that she was proud because she doesn't do sports. And then it's like that, oh, it's so disappointing to let her know you got to pop that balloon. I'm sorry, honey, it's not the Lakers. And she's like, that's the team in LA. And I'm like, there's another team in LA. And she's like, what? She's like, no, the Lakers are the basketball team in LA. And I'm like, oh, there's another team. They're the Clippers. It's like, is it a minor league team? Well, yeah, you could say that. The Clippers are kind of a minor league team. So the Clippers probably have a worse top 20, top 25 than the Mavericks. So let's take a look. So this is same website that I use for the Mavericks, Bleacher Report. So some random writer, I'm sure, different guy. Top 25 all-time greatest Los Angeles Clippers. Now, again, this is just some writer's opinion, but it gives us a good roadmap to how bad the Clippers might be. Now, I haven't looked at this, so it might be better than the Dallas Mavericks. Number 25, this is top 25. Number 25, Brent Barry. Number 24, Terry DeHare. I think he was drafted in the Chris Webber draft, 93. Number 23, one of my favorite names. I didn't realize he played for the Clippers. I remember him as a Minnesota Timberwolf. Pooh Richardson. Sam Cassell, another guy I didn't realize played for the Clippers. I remember him in Houston with the Rockets. Sam Cassell. This guy at number 21, I remember I think he's a college basketball coach. I think he coached at Mizzou. Katino Mobley. Number 20, Charles Smith. There were like 17 Charles Smiths that played in the NBA. He was one of them. Ken Norman. I remember Ken Norman. I remember him being pretty good. He averaged 18.1 points, 8.3 rebounds one of the seasons with the Clippers. Number 18, I think this was before my time, Swen Nader. He had an impressive 79-80 season, so that was before I was born. Gar Hurd came in at number 17, again before my time. Number 16, Benoit Benjamin. Number 15, now it's like, oh, wow. Bill Walton is number 15. Maybe the Clippers have a better list than I expected. Number 14, I think this is one of the most underrated players in the NBA of the 1990s. Loy Vaught. He put up some good numbers with the Clippers. I'm surprised he came in at number 14. I thought he would be higher. Gary Grant came in at number 13. Now, again, I don't know any of these guys' stats. But on the surface, I would say, oh, Loy Vaught was way better than Gary Grant. But again, I don't know their stats. Bob Kaufman is number 12. I don't remember him. Well, he was in the 70s. So that's why I don't remember him. Chris Kaman, number 11. Chris Kaman. I think he was the dude with all the tats. Eric Piakowski came in at number 10. The Polish rifle, Eric Piakowski, number 10. Number 9, Ron Harper. Ooh, number 8, Chicago guy. Corey, I called him Spaghetti Maggette. No reason for that, just because it rhymed. Corey Maggette came in at number 8, all-time greatest Clippers. Number 7, Danny Manning. Okay, respectable. Number 6, World Be Free. Number 5, Blake Griffin. Okay, hey, now we're going. Blake Griffin. Number 4, who? Randy Smith. Who? Number 3, Chris Paul. Again, respectable. Number 2, Elton Brand. And number 1, all-time greatest Los Angeles Clipper before my time, Bob McAdoo. Those are your all-time greatest Los Angeles Clippers as voted on by one writer at Bleacher Report. I don't know. What do you think? Clippers or Mavericks? Who's the worst? That's a pretty low list of Clippers, but I don't know. The Mavericks might be. The Clippers had some respectability on that list. The Mavericks did too, but it was kind of like it was bunched up in the top 5 for Dallas. The Clippers, kind of all over the place. I don't know. Both I wouldn't be proud to be a fan of either team historically. Christian says, I got a foot here. Along with thunder and lightning while it snowed, spent a total of 4 hours cleaning up snow over the weekend. That sounds like hell. That sounds like hell. Kevin says, I had a ton of top loaders on hand before I started selling. That's quickly dwindling down as I'm approaching 2,000 listings. Absolutely. And it all of a sudden, the more you sell, it's like, damn, I went through all those top loaders, penny sleeves. Damn. Dan, what's up, Dan? Merle says, Kevin, most of mine don't get put in top loaders until I ship. That's how I roll. I do the same. Cooter says, top loaders run the risk of getting stuck in sorting belts if envelopes don't have a consistent thickness or rigidity. Yes. I've seen several tweets of top loaders ground to pieces. Yes. Be very careful if you're doing top loaders. Now, I had very, very few problems because I didn't go to Team Card Saver until about a year ago. I had very few issues with top loaders, but I definitely had more issues with top loaders than I do with card savers. Boomba Sports Cards, what's happening? What's up to you? That's cold in Wisconsin, but better than dealing with California BS, LOL. Hey, if anyone is a Boston fan, I'm trying to get rid of a Bowman Chrome Black Shimmer Marcelo Meyer. Ooh, nice. PWE, the only thing I do is wrap the card saver one in a piece of paper. That's pretty much what I do. Penny sleeve the card, put it in a card saver, wrap it in a piece of paper, drop it in the envelope, put it in the mail. Good morning, Augusta Lawn Care. What's happening? All that was odd, I couldn't get chat to come up. Hope everyone had a great weekend. You bet. Where are we at? Let's see. Augusta says, took me 5 minutes to blow my load at the show yesterday. What were you doing? Picked up a 4-row box of die cuts, laser parallels, and they were mostly star players. Had like 6 different Rogers die cuts in there. Nice. Zach stopped using cardboard for trades. Card savers or 9-pocket sheets. Well packed with paper keeps me in good standing. There you go. Herman, doesn't eBay's standard envelope policy state up to a 1/4 inch? It does. But it's also what the USP. Here's the thing with the standard envelope. The policy says one thing, but reality is another. So eBay was also advertising you could use like rigid envelopes that clearly the USPS does not allow for plain white envelopes. So it's a gray area. And basically anything with the USPS is a gray area. Sometimes you can get by. Some clerks at post offices will allow a bubble mailer to go like non-machinable rate at $1.08 or whatever it is. And then some will charge you $6 for a PWE that's under a 1/4 inch thick. So it's eBay has a policy, but it ultimately it falls under USPS policy. And ultimately, it falls under which person it lands in the hands of. So take it with a grain of salt. Card hobbyist, have a great day. Augusta says, yes, envelope up to a 1/4 inch. And great at my post office. The drop box is cut to the exact largest size. That's cool. 95% of post offices honor it. Here's a few that are pain in the rears. Yeah, there's a lot that there's some people that, give it fits. Cooter says, I've started using old non-embossed Christmas cards cut to the size of envelopes for trades for additional protection that can still be machined. Kevin says, my wife had zero sports knowledge when we first started dating. Every time she drops some sports info on me or someone else, I get so happy. Dan says, a Chicago native should be on this list. Let's see. Max says, does the list indicate that they needed to be good with the Clippers or just talent that played for them at some point? I think it had to be with the team. Kawhi, PG-13, and Marcus Johnson should be on the list, I'd assume. I think it had to be with the team. Let's see. Let's read. Let's see. So this guy wrote, compiling a list of the top 25 players in Clippers history is not easy, especially with 44 seasons and hundreds of players to sort through, and many of them not very good. He didn't write that. That was my editorial. However, the factors considered to be ranked on this list are twofold. One, a player needs to be in the top 10 in a career category or has to have had a historic season with the Clippers, meaning winning a league award, a top statistical season, or being a key contributor to a playoff run. There are plenty of great players in Clippers history, but who will take the crown as the franchise's best player ever? So that was the criteria for this particular article. I'm sure we could find another article which has a different list. Let's see. Here's one. The first actual was the Sportster. So the Sportster ranked Chris Paul number 1, Bob McAdoo number 2, Elton Brand 3, Blake Griffin 4, DeAndre Jordan, Randy Smith, Danny Manning, and Kawhi Leonard were the top 8. Let's see. So that was obviously different criteria than the Bleacher Report list we read. Let's see. Didn't Baylor play there for a stint? I mean, the Mavericks having Luka and Dirk is better than the whole list combined into one player. That's very true. Let's see. Jenny said, good morning. What's up? Lots of snow in Minnesota. How about there? Just a dusting, just enough to annoy me. I think I said it pissed me off earlier. It didn't. I guess I shouldn't say it pissed me off. It annoyed me. Let's see. Because I want freaking sunshine and like 60-degree weather. Even though 60 is cold, it feels nice in March. Cooter says, yes, Herman, a 1/4 inch is the requirement for first class. The rigidity regulation requires an envelope to bend around 11-inch radius roller with 40 pounds of belt pressure. There you go. Cooter going through the weeds on that one. Terry Cummings should have been on that list. John says, when I'm king of the world, Pirate Ship will sell PWE labels. That would be nice, right? That would be very nice. Boomba Sports Card says, 59 watching. How do we only have 17 likes? Thank you, Boomba. Uncle Rich isn't with us this morning. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, all that stuff. Marcus Johnson should be on their list just for his role in White Men Can't Jump. Max says, makes more sense then that those guys aren't on there. Those guys have played there like 2 years and are better. Those criteria are nuts, especially for the Clippers. Yeah. Cooter says, if John is ever king of the world, we will all be required to get tattoos of the 75 Herb Washington. Max says, Baylor didn't play for the Clippers. Not sure where I was pulling that from. What else? Oh, speaking of basketball, the NCAA is getting hot and heavy. We've got automatic bids. Who did I watch yesterday? Drake beat Bradley. NCAA automatic bid. So Drake is dancing. Kennesaw State, I believe. Fairleigh Dickinson. Oh, that's due to the transition rule. So they must have a team in their conference transitioning to Division I. Fairleigh Dickinson became the first team to punch its ticket to the 2023 NCAA tournament, and the Knights did it without winning their conference tournament. How? Merrimack, the number 1 seed in the Northeast Conference tournament, is still in the midst of its 4-year reclassification process and is there ineligible for the NCAA tournament. However, the NEC announced last summer it would allow Merrimack to participate in the conference tournament. Merrimack winning the regular season title meant the championship game runner-up would advance to the NCAA tournament should the Warriors make it to the title game. Interesting. So there you go. Fairleigh Dickinson is going dancing. Didn't even win their conference tournament. So I didn't even see the score. My alma mater, the Western Illinois Leathernecks, played in the quarterfinals of the Summit League. How'd that roll out yesterday? Damn it! My Leathernecks lost. St. Thomas, Minnesota. And I think St. Thomas is still in their reclassification. I'm not sure on that. Somebody might be able to correct me on that. Any St. Thomas, Minnesota fans in the house? North Dakota State beat South Dakota. So they went chalk on that one. Western and St. Thomas. St. Thomas had a better overall record. They were both 9-9 in the Summit League. So that's unfortunate. The Leathernecks had a good season this year, despite their 16-14 record. So Fairleigh Dickinson is in. Drake is in. And I think Kennesaw State was the other team that won their conference tournament yesterday. Next Sunday, or I guess now it's this coming Sunday, is Selection Sunday. We will do a Hobby Evolution Bracket Challenge, and I think we're going to give something away. I'll pick something up at the card show next Saturday in Chandler, Arizona. So I'll pick something up, maybe do a hobby box of something. I guess the only baseball product. I think everybody's a baseball fan. Maybe we'll take a poll. we can take a poll of the participants and say, what do you want to be the prize? It's Fairly. I've been calling it Fairlay for 40 years. Okay. I think here's another one I need help with. Is it Quinnipiac? 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 How the hell do you say that one? Quinnipiac? That's another one. Fairly Dickinson. Huh. Been saying that wrong my whole life. Quinnipiac? Am I saying that right? Quinnipiac. So we'll do a bracket challenge, Hobby Evolution bracket challenge. We'll play for a prize. We'll play for like a hobby box of I assume baseball. I think most people in here are baseball fans. So maybe a Top Series 1 hobby box. First syllable. I'm like really bad. I have to hear it. I have to hear it. I can't like spell it out. Let's see where are we at in the chat. Hall of Fame card collector. I bought a Jim Brown game used jersey card numbered out of 100 for $50 and a 2001 Drew Brees rookie jersey football of 500 for $20 and found some great value box finds. Excellent. Fairlake Dickinson. Fairlake. I said Fairlay. I said Fairlay and it's Fairly Dickinson. Fairly Dickinson. That actually sounds funner to say. Fairly. I'm Fairly Dickinson. Let's see. Sounds like a character in like a Charles Dickens novel. Fairly Dickinson. I think that was an Irish accent that I just used. Trying to be English. I'm behind, so apologies if you said this 10 times already. Are you live tomorrow? Is it live or Memorex? Tomorrow's live. Tomorrow is live. Tomorrow I will be live. My flight is at like 5 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. So tomorrow I will be live, and then no live show on Wednesday, and I'll probably be live on Thursday just to recap my first day at spring training. Max says another year to wish that tournament only allowed the big conference schools in. Oh, well. So here's what I wanted to talk about the NCAA tournament. So, and I tweeted this out yesterday, and I used a very poor example because I used the Missouri Valley, where I think I was rooting for Bradley because Bradley's in Peoria. And so, I know people associated with the university and the staff. So I was rooting for Bradley. And what sucks is Bradley had a great season. They won the regular season for the first time in 27 years. My buddy, Coach Mo, was the head coach the last time Bradley won the regular season, Missouri Valley title. So it was disappointing that they put in all the work. And this was because Drake had a good season as well. Drake had a great season. And they won and they blew Bradley out in the tournament championship yesterday. It wasn't even a close game. It was like they jumped out to a 20-point lead and cruised. So from that standpoint, that was a poor example, but there's some examples where a team like, say in the Northeast Conference, the NEC, goes like 16-0 in the regular season. They put all the work in during the regular season, day in, day out, 16-0 regular season, and then some 5-11 conference team, the number 7 seed or number 10 seed or whatever, number 8 seed comes into the conference tournament, gets hot, and they're sub 500. They knock off the 16-0 regular season champion and they go dancing. That's what sucks about the NCAA tournament, but it also creates some excitement and everybody has a chance, because on the flip side, the team that went 5-11 in the regular season, like they go 5-11, they have something to play for in the postseason conference tournament. They don't just need to show up. And I guess you could say, well, just do away with the conference tournaments. But then it's like, well, I like the conference tournament. So I think when it's all said and done, I think now I'm talking, just like I talked myself out of the Girl Scout cookie sales strategy, I'm now talking myself out of what I bitched about yesterday. These teams put all the hard work in, and then some team can come in, win a conference tournament, and advance to the NCAA. So I think I don't think there's a simple solution to it. I don't think there's a simple solution to it outside of expansion, which I wouldn't be opposed to 100 because I love the tournament. I wouldn't be opposed to 128 teams in the NCAA tournament and have like a super first round. What do they call it in the a super regional, like in the College World Series, like a super regional round? And then you play into the field of 64. That would be fun. So that way, you get automatic bids for regular season. The conference regular season champions get an automatic bid. And then the conference tournament champion also gets an automatic bid. So then you say, well, what if Bradley wins the regular season, they get an automatic bid, say they did win the conference tournament. Well, now what happens? Does the runner-up get an automatic? No, then it goes to the at-large bids. So you get the regular season automatic bid, conference tournament automatic bid, and then you still have your bubble teams. And 128 is still less than half of the Division I teams in college basketball. So it's not like a participation trophy to get in the tournament. Like it's still I don't even know how many teams are in Division I. I think there was 352 when I worked in Division I college basketball. That was 10 years ago. How many Division I basketball teams? We got Merrimack. We've got St. Thomas. So there's 358 now. So 358. And so if you do 128, what's the percentage on that? We got to get the calculator out. 128 divided by 358, that's 35%. So you're still only a third of the Division I teams are getting into the tournament, just getting into the play. What we could call it the playoff. We got the first four. We might as well do another 64, right? The first 64, the super regional. I think that would be fun. That's what I think would be cool. 128 teams, automatic bids to regular season champions, automatic bids for conference tournament champions. And then we have the at-large bids. And then we can make Max happy by putting those big conference schools in. I hate that. I hate only big conference schools because then what do the other teams do? And hey, it's a freaking tournament, right? Why does it only have to be big schools? Why can't there be, not all big schools have good. Penn State has a basketball program. They're in a big conference and they suck at basketball. Butler, Gonzaga, not big schools, not blue bloods. They're starting to get close to that status, but they're not in big conferences. But Penn State is, and you're telling me Penn State should be allowed in and not Gonzaga and not Butler? Victor's in. I'll take Cub cards. Dairyland Picker, my buddy Denny. I think I just got a text from you. So I'll reply here as soon as I get off. John says first syllable of Quinnipiac. Boomba's down for the bracket challenge. I will. So the bracket's released on Sunday. So Monday morning, we'll go live from spring training and we'll get that link ready for you. Kevin says, by the way, I love your Petey Pablo reference every time you see North Carolina. I was in middle school when that came out and we rocked the shit out of it. Heck yeah. I've got a video because I was in college when that came out. And I've got a video, me and my buddy Chuck. It's like 3 a.m. and we're hammered. And I had a camcorder. This bad. Cell phones were just like becoming a thing. I don't even think cell phones could text at this point. So I had a camcorder and I'm camcordering us getting drunk and singing Petey Pablo. And we were spinning our shirts around our heads like a helicopter. Augusta Lawn Care just announced Eagles wide receiver Zach Pascal got minor injured in an armed robbery near his hometown. They took his diamond necklace. Holy crap. According to Google, Quinnipiac. Mugging type robbery on the street. Ew, that sucks. Augusta wants to know how long my trip is. So I fly out tomorrow afternoon, 5 p.m. And then my flight is at like 7 a.m. the following Tuesday. So March 7th through the 14th. John says, I'll do your live show on Wednesday. Jenny says, John, that would be a blast. Flipping Sports Guy. The school even put out a YouTube pronouncing it the way Google sounded it out. Reminds me of the Patriots 16-0 season, the tournament knockout. Let's see. At least that was in the Super Bowl, though. Let's see. John says, Hokies did that last year, winning the ACC tourney. Flipping Sports Guy says that's why it's called March Madness. Heck yeah, I love it. Who do you think will win March Madness? No idea. No idea. No clue. Not even an inkling. I didn't watch that much college basketball this year. And the teams that I do watch, and I think the reason I didn't watch as much college basketball this year is because the teams I kind of follow kind of sucked, namely Wisconsin. So I just kind of, when Wisconsin's a top 25 team, like I'm following top 25 teams and this and that, like Houston. I'm like, Houston's number one. Houston, they haven't been good since Phi Slamma Jamma. So so I have no idea. Like once the bracket comes out, I'm gonna write down who I think's gonna win. It's gonna be wrong. So just take a look at my bracket. And if you agree with my bracket, you're probably not going to win. I do terrible on bracket challenges. Terrible. Vikings released Eric Kendricks. Is he an O lineman? Is he good? If he's good and an offensive lineman, I'd like the Bears to sign him. Let's see. Bo is 100% that guy that flies off the handle with gut reaction, then later after thinking, going, well, you know what? Hey, I'm open to discussion. The whole season is a tourney to play into the tourney. Stop overthinking this. Nanny state alert. No, the NCAA tourney already works, has for many years. Only reason to tweak is a money grab, which I'm okay with in that regard, because it's for selfish reasons. I love the opening weekend of the tournament, and if you could give me 2 of those weekends, hell yeah, you'd take my money. But I do agree. I'm okay with the current format, but I'd be even better with a better format. Card Safari, what's up? Finally made it live. Thank you. Welcome in. Just got to keep pushing this to 90 minutes so my lazy ass is out of bed in time. Hey, sometimes we do that. Sometimes we're good at pushing it to 90 minutes. Zach and Porter says the tourney is one of the best for in-playoff systems in all sports. I would say it is the best. It epitomizes why you play the game. Wins on paper don't count. +1 for John, guest hosting Hobby Evolution. Let's see, where are we at? John says Zach Pascal robbed the Eagles of $1.5 million in 2022. Joe Caprito says Penn State has a pretty decent wrestling team and football. They just don't have a good basketball team. Let's see. Oh, you're right. Thought they lost that 16-0 season in the playoffs. LO, it's still too early. Kendricks is a stud linebacker. Okay, well, hey, the Bears need a linebacker also. So, and if he's a stud, even better. So, Chicago, sign Eric Kendricks. Hall of Fame card collector. I always go with either Gonzaga, Villanova, or Kentucky. Kentucky's not good. I don't think Villanova's good. I don't think Gonzaga's good. What, let's see. What's the latest top 25? AP basketball top 25. I don't know if any of those 3 teams are in the top 25. But I haven't been watching too much. And let's see how wrong I might be. Wow, Marquette's number 6. Wow, I haven't been paying attention to college basketball. And Gonzaga's a top 10 team. So there you go. Gonzaga's number 10. Oh, wait, I think this is an old poll. Nope. Oh, the new one comes out today. Let's see. So by the way, the top 4 teams. Houston, number 1. Alabama, number 2, Kansas, number 3, and UCLA, UCLA is number 4. And then my Big Ten's Purdue is number 5. Let's see. Who else do we have in the top 25? Indiana's number 15. They beat Michigan. That was a good game yesterday, Indiana, Michigan. Let's see. Kentucky, and Kentucky's in the top 25. They're at number 23. So I was wrong. 2 of the 3 are in the top 25. Eric Kendricks now free to report to jail to serve his sentence for stock fraud. Oh, well, I guess if they released him for legal reasons, maybe I don't want the Bears to sign him. Or is that a joke? Sometimes I don't know. Eric Kendricks. Oops, I spelled it wrong. Let's see. Vikings have released Eric Kendricks. So, Jenny says Duke's going to win it all. Calling it now. Is Duke in the top 25? I don't think Duke's in the top 25. Duke might even be a bubble team, right? Duke men's basketball. They played North Carolina on, was it Saturday? Where's the Duke standings? Here we go. Well, Duke's 23-8, so they'll be in the tournament. Duke is 23-8 overall, 14-6 in the ACC. Let's see. Gonzaga is 10. Hall of Fame card collector hasn't watched either. Kansas has a good chance. I would say probably again, I know very little. I'd say Kansas. Just because Kansas is usually good. I haven't watched any of these teams. I guess I'm going to have to watch some of the teams because I don't know. Small Town Collectible says UConn is scary good. Hall of Fame says I forgot to put UConn. Okay. Basically, what I do is I just listen on Selection Sunday. I listen to their analysis, and I'll be like, oh, okay. And then I jump on somebody's bandwagon. But I've got 2 people talking about UConn in the chat, so maybe it's UConn. So there you go. That's all I had for today. Girl Scout cookies, NCAA tournament, and the all-time best Los Angeles Clippers. So hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Thanks for jumping on. There will be a live Hobby Evolution tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central. And then I fly out tomorrow afternoon, spring training bound, no show on Wednesday. Thursday. Yeah, how's the week work? Thursday morning, I'll go live. I don't know what time it'll be. Let's see. So, again, I've got to look to see what time it is in Arizona. What time it already autofilled. What time is it in Phoenix? It's so we're an hour behind. So it's 7:23. So I might actually be close to 7 a.m. Central from spring training. It might be. It'll probably. Who joined us live because he sleeps in? Who was that guy? Card Safari. You might be in luck while I'm in Arizona, because I'll be going live just as you're waking up. So probably between 7 and 8 a.m. Central, I would think, when I'm out in Arizona, because I'll probably be waking up because I need to. Let's see. Well, actually, I'm on the Sloan Park campus at the hotel, so I don't have to drive to the backfields. So let's see. Let's see. Backward engineer this. If I hit the backfields at 9 a.m., that would be 10 a.m. Central. So probably leave my hotel room at 8:30. So that would be 9:30. 8:30. So yeah, between 7 and probably 7:30 Central is when I'll go live. That's kind of what I planned for. Between 7 and 7:30 Central Time. Thursday morning? Yes, Thursday morning, because no show on Wednesday morning. This is making my head hurt. I need more coffee. All this clock math. Time zones, damn it. Time zones. Where are we at in the chat? Let's see. Card Safari says jackpot. UConn dominated big teams early, slacked during conference, now turned it back on. Henry, what's up? You're going to have to write this down. I know, write it down. I actually wrote down some topics because remember my goal for YouTube subscriptions is 5,000 this year. And I'm just at the halfway point, and it's March 6th. Not good. Not good. My goals were to be eBay specific videos, not here on Hobby Evolution, like separate videos, and shorts. My shorts just didn't perform, and so I got disappointed and gave up on them. But I need to do shorts again. I'll do a lot of shorts from Arizona. I'll put some content up from spring training, but I wrote down some eBay specific sales videos that I'll get to at some point. So that's what I had for today. Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe. Back at it tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central. See you then. Have a great Monday.